And let me finish this round of welcomes by playing a short 3.5 minute video which tries to give you the background on SUnx Malta. Thank you.
I was just starting off as the president of the World Travel and Tourism Council, which is now the business leaders organization for the travel and tourism sector. I was the first employee, and we were creating a story that said travel and tourism is the biggest industry in the world. We didn't have very much to go by. We had limited statistical material, but we had the 6 biggest companies in the world who said we have to be there on the world stage. And our message at that time was tourism is great. Tourism is good for you. Tourism creates jobs. Tourism deals with poverty and the whole thing. And I had begun to see that there are some downsides as well. And that like any economic activity, there are limitations to how good growth is. So I went to the Rio Earth Summit. I had that capacity. I met the chairman of the Secretary General of the summit, Maurice Strong. Maurice Strong had been the father of sustainable development, and he had been involved for 40 years in building up this from the Club of Rome, right through the Brundtland Commission, to the creation of the United Nations Environment Programme, to this big summit, with the biggest summit that had ever been held, to ask the question, what are we doing about the planet? And I was fortunate. Maurice Strong and I hit it off. It was a 25-year friendship and mentorship. I learned from him. I think I was one of his closest confidants at the end. And SUnx is a legacy to Maurice Strong. It's the strong universal network. And we added the X at a certain stage because climate change is existential. And amidst all of these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, 2030, 2050 agenda, there's just one existential issue. If we don't fix climate change, your kids, my kids, our grandchildren, they're not going to be here. Or they're going to be here in very trying circumstances. And if you want an example of this, you only have to look at what's happened the last month in the Caribbean, which scientists are telling us is pretty much a result of the warming of the oceans and the volatility that's been introduced into our weather. And in 1 month, whole countries can be wiped out. That's what existential means. So SUnx is a system where over the next 10, 15 years, we want to set up a movement amongst young people. We want to set up monitoring stations in every country. We want to join them on the cloud. And we want to pull from this massive information that everybody is looking at on sustainable development, which are the really important ones that popular movements will say, enough is enough, you can't keep doing business in this same fashion, you have to change.